I think a lot of the people who, myself included, believe that Jews are negatively impacting this country is an understatement. They're ruining the country, and they have been for over 100 years. But I don't think things are going to come to a head. They're not, if we believe they have as much influence as they truly do, they're not going to use that influence to invoke Civil War II right now. That's kind of my reading of the tea leaves, because Israel itself would be dramatically exposed if they did. How do you feel?
Well, I was having the same conversation with a friend earlier about, Israel, it does own the United States, and Israel uses and weaponizes the United States to support its endeavors in the Middle East and to have a fail-safe in case any of their military fails or anything like that, as well as their nuclear program, which they stole from us. So it's my opinion that, there is this unrest being intentionally stoked in the United States through this standoff going on in Texas. And the purpose of that, as far-fetched as it sounds, there's probably some truth to it. Israel is trying to stoke an internal conflict within the United States so that they can have free reign in the Middle East against Iran, against Syria, against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and against the Houthis in Yemen. So it's very likely, and that, that's worth talking about, especially because the Israelis have such strong influence and a lot of these state governors that are involved in this standoff with the federal government. So there's a good chance that the Israelis are fanning the flames in a sense, or maybe whispering into the governor's ear, like Greg Abbott, saying, yeah, do this, do that. Oh, you should totally stand off with the federal government there, Mr. Abbott. And maybe that's a way for the United States to get distracted, because in no world would the United States allow Israel to go headfirst into a conflict with Syria and Iran. Now, Israel would love to do that at this point. I think that it's 100% on their in their playbook for very soon to go into war with Hezbollah. And by doing that, they will also go to war with Iran, and to an extent also Syria. It opens up the northern front and allows them to enter Syria very easily. So it's very concerning that the United States is basically standing around Israel, protecting it. And there's the potential that Israel could just go in, and America, really wouldn't have anything to say about that. But the Biden administration has been playing a very, very touch-and-go game with the Israelis when it comes to expanding this conflict, because the Israelis are treating this like 9/11, and they're about to have their war on terror. And it started with Hamas in Gaza, of course, but it's very rapidly expanding to Hezbollah in Lebanon, and that's also going towards the Houthis in Yemen, as well as Islamic Resistance in Iraq, which is a Hezbollah and Iran affiliate working in Iraq. So it's very likely that Israel wants to expand this conflict, and America is really the only decelerant to Israel's ambitions for expanding this conflict. So I really do think that the Israelis see the United States as something that's going to stop them from defeating the terrorists in their region, what they perceive to be their terrorists. And if the United States has any say in it, they're not going to let them go to war with Iran, because that would mean the United States gets involved. So maybe the mind in some Israeli strategists, some of them who are in control in America, is to distract America, get them distracted with an internal armed conflict, and then we go do our thing, and America's distracted. They can't do anything about it. They can't really say much. They're going to have an internal issue to deal with. And then we can do what we need to do, and, all is forgiven in the end, because we're already going to have done what we've done. So just a theory. I'm not saying that that's what's happening, but perhaps there's some truth to that.